Hello there, this is Bic Benedict. We're playing the Evil Within's Assignment DLC on Kurayami difficulty, which is unlocked after you complete the original default game mode, which is entitled Survival difficulty, an initial time, and then you'll unlock this. STEM in complete darkness. All you have is your flashlights and your whatever it said right there. My biggest horror story was that looking through the options, I noticed that there's not an option to invert the x-axis, and to get from the beginning of where we just started now to the cave over here where there's a cutscene, it took me about every time I would get so frustrated that the camera was moving a different way that I would just shut the game off. Just getting to here was probably the hardest challenge that I'll face in this guide, which is really unfortunate because this is 2015 and you're not offering the option to invert a particular axis. And at this point, I don't even think it's a matter of that it's the x-axis. Just imagine whatever you're comfortable using. Just put yourself in my shoes here. And I'm going to try to be as calm about this as I possibly can because I've done this about 5 times and every time I start yelling. So I'm going to try not to do that. But just imagine that whatever you're comfortable at, you as a player, whatever you're comfortable at on a particular axis, you can't do that, and it's going to be the opposite. And there's no way to change it because these people that made this game are so inconsiderate that they don't even offer the option. That's what it was like for me, and to me it cut off my access to this game early on. And eventually I did get used to it, but I shouldn't have to get used to it. There should be an option to have it the way I want it to have. Now, this whole x-axis inversion, I never was like that until Ninja Gaiden Black, when Itagaki's vision was to have the x-axis or whatever it was. But do you know that was 10 years ago that I was like that? That was 10 years ago. I think we could let that pass a little bit. In view of all these other options here that you go into the advanced settings, this is the PC version, and you go through all these settings that you don't even know what the hell they are, and they're so obscure, like the anti-aliasing. There's like 3 different. I don't know what those are. I don't care what those are. Just give me the basic options, and I want to experience your game. There's no excuse for it. That's it. That's the end. There's no fucking excuse for it. So just any excuse that anybody can think about why you didn't put an x-axis invert, it doesn't matter because there's no fucking excuses in the first place. So that's the end of the rant. I did get used to it, but this is 2015 and you're making a product that I really wanted to experience and enjoy, and eventually I did. But I had to do it wasn't until the end of the campaign that I got used to it, because every time it was just so fucking frustrating. And it's just it's so easy. How long would that take to put in there? 10 seconds. So anyway, so this is the beginning of the guide here. On the default difficulty, everything's lit up so you can see everything, but now at least they give you a flashlight. I don't think you could do this without a flashlight. My brightness is up all the way, and I don't like to say dates or anything like that because it immediately dates my work, but this game, it came out a few weeks ago, and it was just shocking to not see that option. And my first immediate thought was, well, how the hell did I play the original campaign with Sebastian if I didn't even have access to it? And the answer was, I probably was pissed as hell. And if I go back and look at my guides, I probably did rant about it at some point. Maybe, I think I started that project. Maybe I had some rants, and I think I remember deleting those videos because I just don't remember. I must have been mad about it. There's just no way I would not have overlooked that and let that slide. But the settings here are at the highest, and it'll be rendered in 60 frames per second. Kidman is slow, and you do get a speed boost by like peeking your like moving the analog stick, the left analog stick, the one that's not the criminal one where they didn't fix it, but you get a speed boost if you move the character, like peek out of cover and then move. It says you get a speed boost. I know there is a safe on the table right there. I'm not getting those because there's nothing of value to the campaign in it. There's just collectibles, and I don't go after achievements and trophies. I just want to play the game. I want to experience the game. So anyway, lure the enemy out. Okay, lure this guy over here. Throw the bottle into the next room as he passes by. He'll run into that room. See, this is how you go out of cover a little bit, and then you press the button and you get a speed boost. And then we'll go in these ventilation shafts here. You don't get a checkpoint quite yet. There's only one enemy over here. What we're going to be doing is a little cat and mouse section here. So you can actually, you don't have to go into the next room. You can peek first and see, but usually there is no threat. So we're going to open this door right now. And the thing is, if you take a right, there is a door with a key card, and we don't have the key card. So we need to first go in here. And if you take a left, see, the problem is if you go right, there's nowhere to go. If you go left, you're going to run into an enemy. So use the telephone. It's going to ring the telephone in the next room. And then we're going to bait the enemy into the next room. We're going to leave this room. Double tap the A button to quickly open the door like that if you want to. It is a louder open, but she can't hear anyone because she's in the room. Now, if you're not crouched and walking, you make more noise. So you've got to watch out for that. And a lot of times, this is actually pretty scary. Like some of the sequences, they were frightening to me. So what she's going to do is she's going to look our way and hopefully turn around and go the opposite way. Oh, no, my bad. I'm sorry. She goes down the hall. We go in this room where she just left. We ring the phone so that it rings in the next room. She'll go there, and then we'll go where she was previously into the ventilation shaft and then secure a checkpoint. Okay, so I think that the whole rant business about the lack of there being an x-axis invert option, I think we've spoke our fill about that, or at least I have, and you probably are sickened by hearing it. So that's the last I'll talk about that. We do need to proceed forward here, secure ourselves to the checkpoint that I mentioned a moment ago, and we're going to be met up. Okay, so when you get into this room, you get a checkpoint, and if you attempt to go out the door, you're going to have, it's just locked, and you need to grab the key card. That's going to trigger the scripting here. You go in this, and you just wait, and here's utter blackness. So you're going to have one haunted come in the room, and then behind him is what the Beth blog, when I went on there for help about how do I, what are my options for the x-axis invert, and they never responded. If they do respond, I'll give them credit. It is the weekend, so I don't know if they'll ever respond, but according to the Beth blog, this is the light woman. It's the female equivalent of the keeper. So once it turns around, you can exit the locker and you can follow it a little bit. I wouldn't run next to it too much. It's going to go down the hall and take a left. We're going to go into the ventilation shaft. And what I meant a moment ago was when I said about the rants need to stop. It is because a lot of the times in this guide, I take wrong turns and I have to edit everything out. And it's harder for this campaign too because I can't see anything anyway. So when I'm editing things, the shadows differ a lot of the times, and the hallways need to line up when I do match cuts for the editing process. So I need to explain like the turns that I'm making so that if you need assistance like knowing where to go, you won't get lost. So we're coming up on this door here, and I think a small puzzle. If not, then it will be the couch with the new saving feature. Okay, so we turn around. Oh, never mind. That's coming up. You access the computer here, and then you hide behind the desk. And if you remember in my main campaign walkthrough for The Evil Within, I had the Debussy's Claire de Lune music, and then I had a snapshot of what I felt represented, like the most demonstrative moment in the game for me as far as what was memorable. And I guess this would be the most memorable moment for me so far in my campaign. But it's a sickening, grotesque enemy, but you can't help but kind of admire what it's trying to do, and it's just grotesque, isn't it? So when it turns around, it's going to shine its light at the wall and give us an indication of some foreshadowing of what we're going to be doing, which is just the flashlight, focusing the flashlight on signs that are inscripted on the walls. So you leave the cover, you approach this, and anytime you see this, you shine the flashlight on it, you focus it. Don't go too close to it, because if you do that, then it will stop the process. And then after about 5 seconds, you'll get some progress, hopefully, if it goes right. So any cutscene will be edited out. A lot of the exposition will get trimmed out too, because this DLC is heavy with it and just laden with narrative, which is nothing wrong with it. But I don't like the darkness. I'm not scared of it. It's just it's very hard to navigate when everything's pitch black, and your only recourse is to go very slowly, because here she's winded again. I kind of resent that. I wish there was upgrade paths and things of that nature. I also find it baffling that it's such a small sliver of stamina bar. It's like the default stamina bar. You know, why couldn't they just give the stamina bar and just have it all the way maxed out, so that I really don't know. It's none of the. I think the bottom line that we could agree on is that, and this is going to be kind of a sarcasm, but whoever made this game, they don't cater to players, and I think it's just the bottom line. So here's the new saving feature right here. You approach the couch, the cat will jump on you, and you can save it. It's kind of clever, bizarre, but still. This puzzle took me about 15 minutes to solve when I first did it. It's bizarre. And see, I can't see anything, so it's just ridiculous. You tap the A button, you come in here, and you'll get a checkpoint. So what this puzzle... Oh, no, we're not quite there yet. We're not there. Okay, so there's a bottle right here, and I think I already have a bottle, though, so we don't need it. Excuse the fan noise in the background. The preview, when I rewatch these and do the commentary, the preview window has the... It's not even on the highest settings, but it's still making a lot of noise. So you come in this room, approach the light that's on the desk, and it's a key card. Another one of those. So grab this, turn around, come on over here now. Some of the bodies that you walk past will attempt to grab you, and I think if that happens, if enemies are close, then they're going to come after you. But it's just an analog waggling. So throw the bottle over there, and sometimes even if enemies see you and you open the doors, you can still force a checkpoint and get success. See, I thought enemies were chasing me over here. That's why I turned around. But I think after we go through this door right here, we're going to have that puzzle. Okay, this might be the room where the puzzle's at. Okay, this is the puzzle. So here's the next checkpoint area. And like I said, this took me about 15 minutes to solve it, because when I first did this, I wasn't very well acquainted with the whole mechanism. I had no idea. And also here, they don't have the light is not on. So what you want to do is you want to put the shadow, like the stake, you want the shadow of the stake to go in the middle of that star, and then that will hopefully give you this, and then just proceed to shine the light on this, which will trigger some exposition. You turn around. I'm going to skip the cutscene, and then the next thing you see, I need to describe this very carefully, because if you need to know where to go, I can't be talking about ranting and things like that, but this will be the next area. We're going to need to shine the light in and have the projector manifest over here. So shine the light right here, the projector will manifest, and then you take a right and you'll see the characters. Just follow the characters, take a left, trimmed out this cutscene over here, and then there are three items to shine the light on. The first of which is, this is going to the right. So shine the flashlight on that. That could have, see, it's so fucking hard to tell where anything is, and I'm getting irritated because then I can't help people. But suffice to say, there are 3 items on the bulletin boards in here, so just locate those. And I'm sorry, but it's I hate not being able to see what I want to see, what I need to see, you know. So you'll approach this door. I think it's, I don't know who is banging on it, but you will then come down here, approach another door that's banging, this door here, and then they want you to go to the left and open this. So then once we open this, we'll be at the escalator area, and at that point we'll have secured the next checkpoint. Okay, so we're coming up on some more puzzles up here, and I don't really remember where I am because I've completed this entire project, and I'm a little tired right now. I've had to do this in sessions, but I completed chapter 2 yesterday, and it wasn't too bad, actually. There's going to be some cadavers to deal with, these little crawlers that explode, and let's just, oh, here we're doing the scans of the different parts of her body, the neural scans and those type of things. To be honest, this DLC is it's a real big disappointment for me. At the very end, when you fight the light woman, I think that is one of the fucking freakiest things I've ever seen, because it sounds like a man talking, and it's just, you're in the dark, and it's fun. Like, if you want a challenge, I would stay away from playing this. But if, you know, I'm just doing this for the formality of it, basically, and having another guide in my channel, some more diversity. So I think this is where we're going to see the cadaver for the first time, and I didn't even know what these guys' names were. Sorry for the bad English right there, but a buddy of mine did a guide for this game, the Seraphim 17, a few weeks ago when the game came out, and I only just got a chance to watch it because I just don't watch content. You know, if I'm going to play it, I mean, why would I do that? I don't want to spoil my experience, but I did get a chance to see his impressions, and he was saying that these enemies here are called cadavers. I think some of the bestiaries are unlocked by shining the flashlights on these snails. I could be wrong right there, but one of the things that he was mentioning is when you're shining the light on the walls, that it takes too long, and that was something that I thought too. It just takes unnecessarily a long time. And we're coming up on a section here. See, the DLC for me was disappointing because, first of all, it's not challenging. Second of all, it's inconvenient, and I can't see anything. I want to be able to see things when I play this fucking game. But I guess that's too much to ask. So, but they've basically, you're given the same exact experience, except they put a darkening filter on it to inconvenience you. So up here we have a safe, and I think a bottle too. I'm going to keep this in. See, a lot of the surfaces you can go on to cover on, even though there's no point to doing so. But actually, what I experienced on these is that you can trigger them, provided you're, like, down here is a bad idea to go close to them, and when they're red, you can cause them to run around and explode, and you could finish them off that way. But it's not going to benefit you in these close. See, her ass gets in the way the entire time too. It's almost intentional. But what do you expect? I guess it's a Japanese game. But I found this character to be dull. I like. What do I like about this? Like, what did I like? I liked when the project was done, because it's nobody's gonna need a guide for this. That's the thing. I mean, maybe somebody. I mean, if you haven't played and you're lost or something, that's something that you would probably need it for. So the cadavers, everybody works on a light system here, meaning that if they're yellow, they're potentially dangerous. They may know where you are. They know something is afoot. If they're red, you're fucking dead. Most times than not, the light woman, if she's red, I've ran away from her a couple times. It's pretty frightening. And another thing, this game came out a couple weeks ago. It's already, I would say, like within a week, that nobody cares anymore about the games, and I don't like that about audiences. It's just, it's that anal or attention deficit disorder amongst audiences, and I don't know. But I think my channel is pretty much doomed, because like the gaming scene these days is just not Ninja Gaiden and stuff like that. I mean, I'll always attract hardcore people who like niche kind of gameplay and things like that, but I'm never gonna play these. Like, what game came out recently? Like Dying Light? Are you kidding me? Who the fuck is gonna play that dog shit? And that's the thing. A ton of people are going to play that. Not many people are going to play the games I'm going to play. So that's why I'm doomed. Because I have that attitude, and I don't... Like, I say my true feelings because there's no repercussions for this, because there's hardly anybody on this channel anyway. But for those who are here, I'm very grateful. And I'm at a loss for words, I guess. Little jump scare right here. Going in the elevator. And there's just a lot of stuff to do. A lot of boring stuff to do in this DLC package. There, she's winded again. What's the point of that? See, and you can't see anything. That's the obvious problem here. And it's just a lazy difficulty, a boring difficulty. So, we got a checkpoint. And I think we have a boss encounter coming up. Well, I think Joseph's in the next chapter, or this chapter. I don't know, this is all bleeding together for me. There he is. And that's not Joseph, that's Sebastian. Okay, so we're just following the trail of blood down here, and I think we do have a boss fight coming up. Is this... No, I don't know. Okay, so that's going to happen sometimes, and one of the times, I didn't even move the left analog stick. I just see if she was going to get killed, and it completes the QuickTime event for you. Strange. Okay, yeah, here is... Oh, this part is so fucking... This is... It's just because she's so slow, and then the light woman is so fast. Like, this is some scary shit right here, especially in the dark. So, what's going to happen is, it's just a hide-and-seek game for X amount of time. And when she's patrolling down here, you have to stay away, obviously. Avoid the light. And do not, just don't run when you're around her because she's going to hear you. So what I found typically is that she always searches down to the right and then she goes left. And this is just from my experiences. Like every single time she does the same pattern. Like initially, I'm talking about like this always. Maybe it's because where I was standing. See, every time I would stand in the same place at the beginning, so it's probably that actually. But this is it's one of those nail biting sequences because you know there's a timer, and you know that the character's really slow and that this thing can catch up to you really quickly. And at some point there is a little explosion or like a electrical fire, and you could put that in between you and this little boss here, like right there. That could probably kill you too. It's difficult because when you're peeking out of cover, okay, so there she did see me right there, so I'm gonna have to run. And I believe she goes from red to semi-aggroed. You'll see that her light changes to yellow. But yeah, this is definitely the most horrifying part in the DLC for me. Because you just want to win, but it's scary. It really is scary. Okay. So I'm not sure if you can get killed right here, but I always worry about that. So now we're in here. She's going to collide with that, get herself knocked out. And I think that enemy is scarier than the Keeper. So we're going to go up here, and we're almost finished with the chapter, guys. Once we meet up with our partners, that's going to be the end of the chapter. Then the next chapter it's almost a half an hour video, actually. So just a little running around. There's no threat. And I will be cutting out in a second, and I'll see you in the second of the 2 chapters. Take care.